Yeah, I think it's great that we're here in Tilbury, where the SS Empire Windrush landed in 1948. And that, for many people, was the rise of multi-ethnic Britain. And although my parents weren't on the Windrush, they came over to this country in the 1950s. They constantly regaled my siblings and I of their, of life, what life was like in Britain at that time.
When I was about to become the mayor of Southwark, I got some telephone calls. I was living at 2 Warmington Road, Herne Hill, that if you become the mayor of Southwark, we're going to slit your church and burn down your house. My reply, and give the newspaper their due and the media in general, I think the Daily Mail had it the front page, this man served king and country, this man is about to become mayor of Southwark. Who is to say he should not be mayor? Yes, they telephoned me and I asked the police to come and the police recorded it. If you become the mayor of Southwark, we are going to burn down your house and slit your throat. Well, my reply was, I'm not against them slitting my throat because I'm a Christian. They should not burn my house because it's not a council house.
One of our ladies will tell over and over again how she wanted to go to church and she went to this church just up the road and she had to sit on a stool right at the back and they asked her not to come again because she put the people off. And we were just absolutely amazed to think that that could happen.
But what kept them, and I think what kept a lot of that first generation that came up in the early 50s was their faith. Because they came to England and the majority of them had a strong Christian faith. And that kept them, apart from with the discrimination they face with housing and even jobs. My mum would say, you hear the stories where they would see a job advertised and they would go for the job and they say, oh, the vacancy has been filled. And they go back the next day and they see the same job advertised. But their faith kept them through those difficult times.
Their contribution is massive and significant. I owe all that I have achieved to my mother and that generation, and many of our public services. When we think of the NHS today, when we think of 150 years we celebrate this year of London Underground, so many of our public services are the institutions that we have as a result of those men and women.
Praise God, the situation, it's a big change. I wouldn't even say quiet down, because it's more than quiet down. We are free now to walk, and you're not hearing much bad words thrown at you anymore.
I love multicultural Britain. I love the fact that diversity is here to stay. So I am very optimistic about the future. I think of it as a family. And I think of it as a family in the context of growing diversity. Within a family, you have diverse members with different giftings, even though you're part of the one family. And I see it as always this journey where we all need to work hard on our relationships to bring out the best of our life together. So diversity for me isn't a threat. The fact that you have different groups, older groups, established groups, newer groups of people, the fact is we can learn to live together to bring out the best of each other.
For me, home is in the Caribbean, sitting on the veranda, under a coconut tree, gazing at God's creation, the stars and the moon.
Home is here. My granddaughter and her husband took me in.